Leute, Opium macht die Folge glücklich. Willkommen zurück zur nächsten Folge von Triangel-Strategien. Wir sind immer noch auf der Rosalia.
Was beim letzten Mal geschah.
Ich habe noch nie so oft Opium gesagt wie in diesem Spiel, mein ganzes Leben nicht.
Hast du es vorher jemals gesagt?
Irgendwann mal, ja.
That it will. We found it stuffed in the deepest, darkest recesses of the Frosty archives. My thieving senses tell me it'll lead us to something that'll make us all rich.
Frost's most confidential information is stored in the archives. There is definitely something of import in there.
Never thought I'd say this, but good steal.
It wasn't easy, but I had to. For Pa. Sadly, it's locked up tight, and trust me, you won't be forcing that thing open. I tried.
I see. It's sealed with powerful magic.
Would we need another spell to counter the seal?
There's probably a key that can open it.
I had the same thought. It's probably nestled somewhere in this village.
What makes you say that?
Take a good look at the cover, and you'll see a map of Norzelia.
Indeed, there is. If this is the Norzelia River, then this must be the Wolford Domain.
In which case, those jewels are right on...
This village.
Exactly. We came here because we thought we'd find a way to open it.
Jerome, do you have any notion where it could be?
I've never seen a key that would fit in that sort of lock.
Are you sure it's not just coincidence?
It could be, but if it isn't...
Then the key is in this village. And the treasure in this book must be related to the Roselle. And it may shed light on the nature of the salt crystal.
Then let's search the village.
Salt crystal? Care explaining?
In due time. First, we find the key. And when searching for lost things, a thief can be most useful. Can we count on your assistance, Drish?
Sure you can, Chief. It's what our lot do best.
Aber sie ist kein Dieb, sie ist eine Banditin oder ein Schatzsucher.
Ich wollte gerade sagen, Schatzjägerin.
Das ist was anderes.
Einige Stunden später, nichts gefunden.
Einige Stunden später und wir sind einige Meter weiter. Nicht mal einen Meter weiter gekommen.
Wir haben uns Position umgeändert.
However, our search wasn't entirely fruitless. Trish told us an interesting story from when she stole the book. Share with the others, if you will.
The book seems to be titled The Diary of Orlea. Or, at least, that's what the stuffy-looking attendant said it was. Didn't mean much to me at the time, but...
Orlea? But that's...
Yes. My mother. As you know, she led the uprising of the Roselle and laid the foundations of this very village after escaping from the source. It was sometime after that she met my father, the former Archduke.
Frederica, if indeed it was your mother who penned this book, then I believe you may already have the key.
Of course! The thing we've been searching for has been around my neck this entire time.
Oh. Viele Stunden für umsonst.
Leer.
So this was my mother's book.
Oh, steht ja jetzt drin.
Ja, kann ich schreiben.
Pray, read it for us, Frederica.
Mann, ist das krieglich geschrieben.
This is a legend handed down by the Roselle since times of old. It is the secret history of Norzelia. I, Orlea Roselle, am recording the legend here as the last keeper of these histories. In ancient times, the Roselle lived in Centralia, a land to the distant south of Norzelia. It sat on the shore of the sea, a source that extended to the horizon and beyond. It was said to be a paradise, a place where people never wanted for salt. The Roselle knew more about salt than anyone, for it was a part of their everyday lives. In those days, Norzelia still rested at the bottom of the sea, but a cataclysm brought it to the surface, turning it into land. The sea dried up, and the small portion that remained is what we know today as the source. Eventually, many people migrated to the new land of Norzelia. They waged war over the source, wishing to get their hands on its precious salt. Our ancestors came to Norzelia in hopes of putting an end to the fighting. They knew that the salt still remained, even without the sea. It merely crystallized and sank deep into the earth. After all their searching, they unearthed a giant crystal. No, a very pillar of salt. They showed it to the people of Norzelia, told them that salt could be found beneath their very feet. However, those who had seized control over the source sought to reign over all of Norzelia by controlling the salt. They, the holy state of Heisand, attacked and slaughtered the Roselle. They hid the pillar, erased the existence of salt crystals, and imprisoned the surviving Roselle at the source. Thus we were branded sinners, criminals who wanted sole dominion over the land's salt. To justify their own monopoly, Heisand created the goddess's teachings. But she needed a villain. To this very day, the Roselle are scorned, made to shed blood and tears, all in her name. But the goddess herself is proof of the Rosellan legends. I saw it with my own eyes during the uprising. Inside of her statue is the pillar of salt that was taken from our ancestors. But I could not expose the truth of the goddess. It took everything I had just to get a fragment. But that piece is the key to freeing the Roselle. It must be. For my brethren who continue to suffer for a crime they did not commit.
Ordelias Tagebuch.
Also Jonas, ich würde auch sagen, wenn wir hier jetzt nicht ihre Route gehen würden, wird man das wahrscheinlich alles gar nicht erfahren.
Duh.
The holy state's teachings are false. The goddess's blessing spread across all Norzelia. The blessing of the true goddess. The blessing that shall be the key to the chains that bind our people. The blessing my mother spoke of was the salt crystal.
And the false teachings referred to salt existing outside the source. It would be the key to ending Heisand's monopoly on salt. This has the power to change Norzelia as we know it, but it is not something we can recklessly proclaim.
But I cannot forgive Heisand. They rewrote history with their false doctrines and continue to oppress the Roselle, all to maintain their power over Salt.
We have the keys that can unlock the fetters that have bound us for so long. We need only find a way to use them.
We would need conclusive evidence. Right now, all we have is a salt crystal. We would not be able to prove that more salt lies beneath the earth, or even the truth of the goddess's statue.
I don't care how much time it takes. Can we not find out the truth?
House Wolford is currently under the banner of Heisand. We may be branded as rebels if the Holy State deems our actions as defiance of the goddess.
And so, history would repeat itself.
But my mother has given us a chance with this book. I cannot simply let it pass me by.
I understand how you feel, and the responsibility of House Wolford to the Roselle. Please give me some time to think, Frederica.
Of course. I believe in House Wolford. And in you, Serenoa.
You deserve credit as well, Lady Frederica. You and your mother are the reasons we can wield this truth. You are a friend of the Roselle, now and forever. Walk proud, with the knowledge that you have served your people well.
I shall. Thank you, Jerome.
There is none other I would trust to lead our people into the future. Where you go, we shall follow. Of that you have my word.
I shall count on it.
I think I follow you. These salt crystals, they're the treasure we're looking for?
Correct, and not a word to anyone of what's written in this book.
Mum's the word, promise. Guess that means you don't want any suspicious-looking fellows anywhere near this place. Now, I know we haven't always seen eye to eye, but how'd you feel about leaving the protection of this village to Pa and the others? Decrepit as he is, he can still bust heads better than any rank-and-file troops. I can promise that much.
For what it's worth, I believe her. Her sort aren't known for lying.
As do I. Then I leave the protection of the village to Travis. I hope that's fine with you, Jerome.
The Roselle treat all creeds fairly, so long as we are treated fairly and kind.
Thank you for your understanding. Well then, we should return to the capital. I would consult with Benedict and Roland on this new turn of events.
Banditengalopper.
Oh, Banditengalopp. Das ist aber schön. Reiten wir jetzt alle auf Pferden plötzlich. Plötzlich sind wir alle beritten Einheiten.
Ich muss auch sagen, die deutschen Untertitel, die waren ja schrecklich. Die haben gefühlt fast nie gepasst.
Das stimmt.
Also, Props an die Übersetzer.
Ja.
Und ist König Roland tot?
And Frederica regroup back in the capital.
Bestimmt.
But what they experienced while they were away could very well alter the course of destiny itself.
Schön, dass du das gegeben hast. Akt 3, Schicksal.
Ja. Und vor allem hier, Dings war ja nicht mal dabei, um ihn zu beschützen. Die war ja mit uns gekommen, obwohl sie es nicht wollte. Oh, Mann. Oh, er ist tot
What is
wahrscheinlich.
so important you wish to speak to me alone?
Ihr Vater ist tot.
Lord Serenoa, promise me you will remain calm. I come bearing
Ihm
grave
ging's wieder gut und er
news.
ist gestolpert und war tot.
Your Lord Father has passed.
What? But how? I thought he was recovering.
It was not the illness that took him, my lord. He was assassinated.
Assassinated?
forgive me. I was unable to stop the villain.
Ist jetzt auch mit Roland passiert?
Who would send someone
Jetzt
to
wieder
kill
König.
my father? And why?
It was Patriot of the Royalists. He believes House Wolford a hindrance to King Roland's rule. No doubt he meant to kill both you and your father in one fell swoop.
A hindrance? Pray tell me Roland was not involved in this plot.
I can assure you His Majesty knew nothing of this. But disclosing the truth would put us in a precarious position. At worst, it could lead to civil war. It is best you hide the fact of Lord Simon's assassination.
You want me to say he succumbed to his illness? How can I pay respect to my father with such lies on my lips?
My lord, your father entrusted me with one final order.
What did he say?
He asked me to tell you the truth.
The truth about what?
I ask you to listen calmly, my lord.
Bist nicht mein Sohn.
You are not Lord Simon's son by blood. Your
Wirklich.
true father is King Regna.
Oh.
His Majesty sired a child out of wedlock with the Lady Destra. That child is you.
Also werden wir
Lady
wirklich
Destra
König.
lived in the Crown City, but she was not a woman of means. Someone of her position could never hope to marry a king. Or indeed keep her head once the Royalists discovered what had happened. Lord Simon knew this, and so he welcomed her and the baby in her belly to House Wolford. He and I were the only two who knew her secret. We had intended to carry it with us to our graves. But in his last moment, Lord Simon bade me give this to you.
So, dann kommen wir jetzt ins Schloss und sagen, ach, hallo Bruder.
The royal signet of Glenbrook.
King Regna entrusted it, and you, to Lord Simon, as proof of your place in the royal line.
Is this truly who I am?
I know it may be difficult to accept.
No, I believe it. I have never known you to speak false to me. Thank you for telling me what my father wished me to know.
You would still call him father?
He raised me as his own. And besides, I must keep up the pretense in front of the others. Especially in front of Roland. This stays between us, Benedict. We must keep the truth of my parentage and this ring safe.
Of course, my lord, as you command.
Oh, Jonas.
Wäre dann Frederica gestorben, wären wir jetzt da hingegangen?
Gute Frage. Möglich.
Is there something on your mind, Roland?
Ja, was ist mit bei ihm denn passiert? Das ist jetzt die
Wahrscheinlich
Frage.
die Schwester gestorben.
Sarah Noah,
Ja,
I do not know what I should do.
oder was anderes.
Did something happen in the capital?
No, that problem has been dealt with. I've made sure those damned royalists will never cause trouble again.
Oh, ja,
Was
es ist
such
passiert.
harsh punishment truly necessary?
Of course it was. When they should have been helping to rebuild the kingdom, they instead profited off the people's hardship. And on top of that, they sought to string me up as their puppet king.
I understand, but
You know what they told me? They said that is what Glenbrook truly is. That it must be ruled with the royalists' careful mediation between the royal family and their loyal subjects. They said good kings need not think for themselves. They said my father and my brother understood that.
even if that is true, you have the power to change it.
I tried. That is the entire reason I took the throne. But nothing has changed, no matter how many corrupt aristocrats I've cast out. This kingdom has always been broken. Frost's invasion just ensured we could never put the pieces back together. I do not have the strength to reconcile a land and people torn apart by hatred and greed. I cannot give Glenbrook what it needs, king though I may be.
Roland.
Apologies, my friend. I should not burden you with my woes.
You burden me with nothing. But if you are struggling...
All is well. Trust me. So long as you are by my side.
Okay, also nichts weiter Schlimmes vorgefallen.
That is the extent of what happened during our various endeavors. The passing of my Lord Father, the Royalist scandal, and the book that revealed the truth about the Roselle and the Salt. It is time we consider what we shall do to overcome these obstacles facing us.
I still cannot believe how quickly Lord Simon's condition worsened.
It is most devastating. Serenoa, did your father say nothing else to you? Before he...
He bade me lead House Wolfort well.
I see. Then we must all do what we can to help you honor that request.
Your Majesty, what do you plan to do about the Royalists who misappropriated supplies?
As far as I've been able to discern, those involved acted out of greed and self-interest. They must all be punished. Nothing less than exile from the kingdom or execution will suffice.
But there are those among them who support the Glenbrook line. Will that not impact your governance?
Perhaps. But to pardon their crimes would kindle the people's ire. We must make an example of them. To appease the people. To make clear the consequences of engaging in such foolhardy behavior.
Did something else happen in the capital, King Roland?
Nothing you need concern yourself with. I must say, I was shocked to learn of that Rosellan legend. Do you suppose the contents of that book could be true?
The part about their homeland, Centralia, that sits upon a vast saltwater sea? That of the untapped salt crystals beneath Norzelia? Or that, in order to monopolize the salt trade, Heisand fabricated the Roselle's sins? That the pillar of salt Heisand stole from the Roselle is hidden within the statue of the goddess? If any of it is true, it would turn everything we know on its head. It would mean the teachings of the Holy State are not but lies.
It does sound unbelievable, but we have already seen part of this legend for ourselves.
The crystal from the Rosellan village?
That crystal is a fragment from the pillar within the statue of the goddess. One my mother obtained during the uprising.
It fits perfectly.
Apparently, Lady Orlea penned the book detailing the legend for Frederica.
She did. She enchanted it so no one could open it, but left me the key to break the spell. This pendant.
I doubt a mother would go to such lengths to lie to her daughter.
Then we agree the legend contains at least a seed of truth.
Your Majesty, we have received word that the survivors of the Duchy's army are amassing.
What? Where?
At the Grand Norzellian mines. But we cannot be sure what they are doing. None of our scouts have returned.
These frosty dogs. We will speak later, Serenoa. First, we must put down whatever the Duchy is planning at the mines. I need you and your people beside me.
Of course. We shall ready ourselves for the battle at once.
Zur selben Zeit in den neuen Norzelia Minen.
Oh, da wird was passieren.
Salz.
Extraction is nearly finished. We've secured the amount we were told. Seems such a waste to just leave the rest.
Don't think Archduke Gustadolf gives two shites. Hurry it up. We need to be done here before Glenbrook catches on to us.
Sir.
Schicksal abgeschlossen. Nils, wir haben unser Schicksal schon längst abgeschlossen.
Yay. Aber es war's doch schon.
Schon 43 Stunden sind wir das Spiel spielen. Wie viel ich wohl davon nur gegrindet habe.
Roland and House Wolffort succeed in reclaiming Glenbrook, but they cannot rest easy, for new dilemmas threaten to tear the kingdom apart. For one, the secret of Serenoa's birth come to light with Lord Simon's passing. Meanwhile, the newly crowned King Roland struggles to reconcile his ideals with reality after punishing the Royalists. Finally, there's the truth about the Roselle and the untapped salt crystals buried within
Ich glaube,
the
das war
earth,
das erste Mal, wo wir jetzt
revealed in
drei
a book
Entscheidungen
to
hatten, wo
Frederica
wirklich groß
from
was
her
passiert
late
ist, ne?
mother.
Ja, das
None
stimmt.
of these revelations have an easy solution.
Ja, das Spiel wahrscheinlich noch privat spielen und dann mal gucken, was
As
die
all
anderen machen.
parties discuss the matters, they receive word that the survivors of the Isfrosti army are gathering at the Grand Norzellian mines.
Naja, du kannst es auch spielen. Ich hab's runtergeladen. Das
Ja.
ist ein Runterladtitel. Das könntest du eigentlich auch spielen.
Forced to put
Ja,
all
das
else
kann ich auch machen.
aside to focus
Wir
on
teilen uns den
driving
gleichen
out their
Account für die
foe,
Leute.
Serenoa and his comrades steel themselves for battle.
Er hat also nicht nur eine Switch von mir, sondern auch noch meine Spiele. Kapitel XVI. Ruhe, meine traurigen Freunde.
The remnants of the Isfrosti forces are gathering at the Grand Norzellian mines. Or perhaps I should say they are rallying there, preparing to defend it to the last.
Something tells me you're right. Gustadolf may have used Lord Dragan's murder as pretext for invading Glenbrook. Yet I believe his true aim was to seize control, not of our kingdom, but of the mines.
Once Glenbrook fell to them, Esfrost did indeed continue mining operations, with notable zeal. Apparently, they transported huge shipments of what they excavated to the duchy, too.
You mean iron ore?
One would assume as much, but we do not know for certain. They say only a chosen few were allowed to have anything to do with the mining or transport.
Odd, ain't it? Granted, the iron from the Grand Norzellian mines is supposed to be decent stuff.
But the Duchy has access to plenty of other iron mines of comparable quality. They've certainly no need to go to such pains to obtain resources from this one.
You reckon there's something special about it?
What my mother wrote of must be true. I've returned from scouting the Grand Norzellian mines. There were no signs of miners or couriers anywhere. The enemy's numbers do not appear that great, but the soldiers were occupied with some task within the mine. I cannot say exactly how many they are.
Thank you, Hewitt. Well done. Well, there you have it. The Isfrosti army is scheming something at the mines. Whatever they are planning, we cannot allow them to continue unchallenged.
Then let us reclaim the Grand Norzellian mines. And in doing so, we shall discover the Duchy's aims in due course.
Okay. Gut, Leute, beim nächsten Mal sehen wir dann, was da so passiert, ne?
Ja, ja, ist viel los.
Hoffentlich hat euch gefallen. Wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal wieder. Haut rein, gute Nacht. Tschö.
Tschüss.